The Game Awards is often a place where new games are announced, and last night they really served up something for everyone. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on Game Ranks, the 10 best new games announced at the Game Awards.
Read it, boy.
Number 10 is Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3: The Black Order, which I don't think anyone expected was going to be announced as a Nintendo Switch exclusive. Mua 3 Thibaut, that's what happens if you try to pronounce it out loud, is an action RPG. It's developed by Team Ninja and will draw from the Avengers, the Guardians of the Galaxy, and the X-Men to make up a new team called the Black Order, who fights Thanos. It takes a decidedly old school look, and I really like that, and I feel it's kind of a product of it being a Switch exclusive, so in some ways I think that might be a benefit, but it's also obviously going to be somewhat of a hindrance as the Switch is not super powerful relative to the other consoles that are out right now. Still, I think there's a lot of promise here, and I'm really looking forward to it. Number 9 is Far Cry New Dawn, set 17 years after the nuclear ending of Far Cry 5. New Dawn, interestingly enough, kind of reminds me of Rage 2. It's kind of absurdist a little bit. Obviously, it's a post-nuclear apocalyptic game, that's the point, and it's in a lot of ways a really interesting idea. Honestly, I did think that the storyline from Far Cry 5 was good and interesting, and I think it does warrant a continuation, and this is so much bigger of an idea for a continuation than I would have expected. Also, considering how much Fallout really has kind of disappointed people in the last stretch, it's nice to see one of these post-apocalyptic nuclear RPGs looking cool. Number 8 is Crash Team Racing, which was the Crash Bandicoot answer to Mario Kart, and, well, let's just put it this way, it was a great game. It may have been a little derivative in its core idea, but who cares? It was a hell of a lot of fun, it had a great battle mode, and I spent a lot of time playing it. Well, because the Crash Bandicoot remasters happened, a total revamp of Crash Team Racing is hitting on June 21st next year. It includes everything that was in the PlayStation original, as well as online play, which I'm excited for because I enjoyed this game a lot. Number 7 is Mortal Kombat 11. With the previous Mortal Kombat game being pretty damn good, except for that monetization, Mortal Kombat 11 has got the chance to be a premium game that costs $60, maybe some extra money for some extra content, and just be Mortal Kombat playing as good as the previous game, but without the awful crap in it. I mean, let's be serious. Easy fatalities as a microtransaction? I'm not saying you shouldn't have easy fatalities in it. In my opinion, that functions as an accessibility option, but making people pay for it? I could probably make that sound a few more times to that. I'm not gonna because it would be annoying, but let's just say there is an opportunity presented for Mortal Kombat 11 that I hope that they take, because the previous Mortal Kombat was damn good, just didn't like the old microtransactions. So fingers crossed. I mean, that obviously doesn't do a lot, but fingers are crossed. Number 6 is Journey to the Savage Planet, a new game from some developers called Typhoon Studios, which are made up of developers from Arkham and Far Cry. So, I mean, you kind of get what you're getting by understanding their previous projects to some degree, but Journey to the Savage Planet looks very different. You basically have to explore a new planet on behalf of the 4th best interstellar exploration company, Kindred Aerospace. And truthfully, aside from the fact that the monologue from the talking head from that company is pretty humorous and sets a good tone, that's about all we know. That said, that tone is very interesting and the world looks quite colorful and pretty, perhaps even very stylish. But again, we really didn't see a lot of it. It is enough to get excited though, because that font reminds me of the Planet of the Apes, and we're talking about blank slates to make games on that, even if unintentionally, evoke that imagery. I'm excited for it. Number 5 is The Last Campfire, which comes to us from Hello Games, the No Man's Sky developers, who, let's face it, have cleaned up a massive mess with that game. This is something they're calling a Hello Games short, a smaller game that's more focused and intends to foster creativity with some new voices in the studio. This is a good thing, because the world of The Last Campfire is really pretty. It kind of in a lot of ways reminds me of Journey if Journey was more densely populated and maybe a little more cartoony. But beyond that, we don't know a hell of a lot about it. It's an adventure game. It's pretty, it's got a good trailer with good music in it, and it seems like it may be kind of like a mini epic, and I would be okay with that. Number 4 is The Pathless, a new adventure game that comes from Giant Squid Studios, which if you remember Abzu, that's them. This looks visually better than Abzu. Abzu is a very pretty game, if you recall, and in this adventure game, we end up seeing a lot of interesting, what I have to assume are enemies or obstacle characters of some sort, in forest creatures all the way up to fire monsters. And the main compliment I have is just how distinct they look. I'm really, really excited to see how this pans out. I hope that the game itself is as good as the visuals, although I have hope, clearly, because Abzu is a good game as well. Number 3 is Dragon Age, and right off, I'm just going to say the reason why number 1 is not Dragon Age is because we don't know anything about Dragon Age. We saw so little of Dragon Age during the course of this. We barely know what's going on. We know there's some Solus, but we only know that from like a hashtag, and we know there's some cool images, and that's it. But we do know it's coming. Finally, we know it's coming. That's enough for me. Number 2 is Hades, a new game from Supergiant Games that looks like it is going to follow the tradition of their more standard games, Bastion and Transistor, which, don't get me wrong, Pyre's a cool game. It's a big departure for the studio though, and this looks like more of a return to that type of game. And to be honest, like Bastion is one of those games that I spent so much time playing, I just loved the hell out of. And while I didn't necessarily think Transistor was as good, it was pretty close, and frankly, I want more. I'm always going to want more of that kind of game, especially the way that they do character development and story development. I love them. Their gameplay is great, and their story's even better. I look forward to Hades a lot. It's out in early access, so I'll probably be playing it pretty soon, but I'll definitely be following it through early access, and I look forward to the full game. And finally, number 1, the big one as far as I'm concerned, being we don't know more about Dragon Age. Anyhow, The Outer Worlds. Obsidian, developers of Fallout New Vegas and Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, the incredibly good, incredibly complex, somehow better than the original follow-up to Knights of the Old Republic. I know that might be a controversial statement, but as much as I like the Darth Revan arc, everything going on in that sequel was amazing. Combining the minds that brought you those games with some of the original developers of the original Fallout games brings us The Outer Worlds, and The Outer Worlds looks amazing. The sensibilities of Fallout are all present. The sort of very cynical attitude towards corporations, the branded world, the humor, the personality, the stuff that is just not present at all in Fallout 76. And I don't know what engine they're using, but it's not the Fallout 76 engine. Like, it looks like everything we always want Fallout to be. And it makes sense because Fallout New Vegas, as flawed as the engine and implementation is, because it was made in 11 months because of a weird restriction that Bethesda put on Obsidian in making it, this is like a dream come true kind of game. I am so excited for this. In all seriousness, I expect this to be the thing I kind of wanted Fallout 4 to be. And I will be watching with great interest. Great interest. And a quick bonus game for you, we have Among Trees, which is a survival game that places you in a life among a highly stylized, beautiful forest that will, of course, ask you to survive in the forest. You'll be building log cabins, living in caves, chopping down trees, and although we don't know a hell of a lot about it, it's very promising and pretty. What game has your interest piqued? Leave us a comment, let us know what you think, and if you like this video, please click like. If you're not subscribed, now is of course a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week. Click subscribe, and do not forget to click the notification bell to get a notification as we upload them every single day. As always, we thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter at Falcon the Hero. We'll see you next time right here on GameRanks.